In those days we were single, and we lived them one by one. Now we hardly see them, they don't walk, they run. But I got plenty left, I've set my sight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon.
Good evening. I'm Jim Olson from Signature Sounds, back with another in our series of 25th anniversary live streams here at the Parlor Room in downtown Northampton on another wintry evening, snowy wintry evening. And this evening we have our friend Peter Mulvey joining us. Good evening, Peter.
Hey, how you doing, Jim?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm holding up pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been a very strange year. I mean, I toured for 28, 29 years straight, and then this year I've just been at home.
It's so nice, right? And home is now here in the Pioneer Valley, which is
right, just
fantastic.
just uptown, and it's been. I mean, that part of it's been great. I almost feel guilty saying that. Like,
you shouldn't.
You walk the dog, watch the leaves fall, watch the snow come, watch the buds bud. Like, we don't get that in my past life.
That's right. That's right. I don't think you want to see it twice, though. Like you've seen the movie now.
Yes, I would like to get back on the road.
I did recently see a photo on social media with you with a large dog on your lap.
Yes.
Tell us now. Do tell.
So we adopted one of the umpteen COVID dogs. Her name is Mabel, and she came to us from Georgia. And she came to us 82 pounds of love. She was very, very overweight, and she has lost 16 pounds, which is a lot. And now she's a dog-shaped dog, and highly food motivated. She had 6 puppies back before we got her, and they're out there somewhere.
Well, that's usually the opposite of how it goes. Usually you get the scrawny dog that you have to fatten up, so.
Right. No, she is, I mean, I know we are all inclined to look at our dogs as the best, but she's an exceptionally sweet dog. She hugs. That's a thing. She puts her 2 front legs, when you're sitting, she just gets on you and hugs you and wags and gazes at you. So I think that's how she got to be 82 pounds. She was like, she figured out the opposable thumb set and was like, if I am really nice to these people. Plus, this is my voice. Like, I've just adopted this Mabel. And then...
It is amazing how great how much our pets mean to us in this time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
New relationships. They're going to be so bummed when we go back to the way we were.
Right. They're going to be, what? I did not vote for this. But we did get her we got her a pellet stove, and so she's very independent as long as she can, her primary relationship is with the pellet stove, and then food, and then me. So I think she'll be all right.
There we go. Well, it's so great to have you here this evening, Peter. You and your guitars. Usually you're the kind of guy who comes into the venue with the guitar strung over his back, and that's that. And tonight we get the whole arsenal.
Right. I mean, that's the strange thing. I've spent several decades just wanting to travel as light as possible, but I have guitars, and it's just down the road, and I got to bring them. So we'll see if I know how to play the other ones.
Has this been a good period for you creatively? Are you?
Yes, I spent quite a bit of the first year of the pandemic watching the autocracy creep along, and that sort of occupied my attention. But just at the beginning of 2021, I launched sort of a songwriting tier on my Patreon, and we had a bunch of people sign up for that, and we write a song every week, and we give each other feedback, and that has been tremendous. And it's interesting, without setting out to, I've been writing about the autocracy and the our isolation and sort of the social rifts that the pandemic has revealed. Like, all that was there. All I needed was an excuse to start writing, and all of that started bubbling up.
Is this the same writing group that Erin McCown is doing?
No.
She also has the weekly write a song a week thing going on.
That's great. Yeah, I finally have made my peace with the fact that there are not enough songs. It's like asking if there are enough leaves in the forest. Like, our job as writers is to try to make those leaves that you might stop and pick up and go, oh my God, look at that perfect maple leaf. But the real job is just to make a lot of leaves and then shed them and make more and shed them. It's fine.
Well, you have certainly done that over the years.
I'm trying.
You have shed a lot of leaves and made a lot of great songs and a lot of great recordings for Signature Sounds.
Thank you for
10 albums, I think.
10 albums on Signature Sounds. Thank you for putting out 10 records. And I thought for this, I'm just going to play one song from each record as we go. And that'll be a pretty good
That'll
set.
be a show right there. That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk some more, but let's hear some music. Peter Mulvey,
Thank you.
here live from the Parlor Room.
This is from the 2000 Signature Sounds recording, The Trouble with Poets. This song is called The Trouble with Poets. The trouble with poets is they talk too much. Poets tell us how it hurts them, and it hurts them just a little more. And we cannot tell, maybe they make that stuff up. We've never stood in those shoes, in those skins, in those heads, on those shores. Trouble with you is you drive me nuts, 'cause I cannot tell what is that behind your smile. Poet, give us something just to lift us up, just for tonight, for a time, for the sake of us all, for a while. I know it's only trouble. I know it makes us real, but I wish that peace of mind were something I could steal, yeah. The trouble with shoes is they come untied. You might take a fall down the stairs. Sylvia Plath might come along and she might say, whoa, that's just like life. I think the trouble with poets is they'll see poetry everywhere. I know it's only trouble. Here I am at the bottom of the stairs, begging you, Sylvia, please, for a few small repairs. The trouble with time is that time don't go back. Or maybe that trouble's just with you and me. I am so scared of that long fade to black that I will push, I will pull, I will do anything to be free. Oh Lord, I push and I struggle. I know it's just the deal. And I know it's only trouble. And I know trouble makes us real. And I know sometimes nobody knows. Nobody knows. Not even poets know. Not even poets know how we feel. The trouble with poets is they talk too much. They say, let us go, then you and I, as the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient etherized on a table. They talk too much, they say, something there is that does not love a wall. They talk too much, they say. I met a traveler from an antique land who said two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert near them. On the sand half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that his sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped upon these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear: my name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. They talk too much. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. I have the best works. The best, believe me. Sorry. Too soon? I feel like the rest of the 21st century is going to be too soon. Here's a tune from the next record that I did for Signature in 2002. The record was called 10,000 Mornings, and I recorded it live in the Davis Square T-Stop, where I was a busker way at the beginning of this thing. It's a record of covers. I remember, Jim, we were in Montreal at the Folk Alliance, which is a big folk conference, and I was playing some cover or other, and you suggested I do a record of covers, and I had been meaning to do a record in the subway station, and so those two projects became just one. This is a Paul Simon song. It made its only appearance in his performing it was on his record Greatest Hits, etc. So it doesn't appear on any other record of his. So I'm assuming this is the etc. part, and this is called Stranded in a Limousine.
Was a mean individual.
He had a heart like a bone. He was a natural crazy man. He was better off left alone. Well, I stopped one night at a traffic light, and when that light turned gray, he was a mean individual stranded in a limousine. Hey, 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 hey. All the children in the street, all the children come running out the front door, running out the back door, flying on their feet. They said, Mama, oh, Papa, oh, see what I have seen. There's a mean individual stranded in a limousine. Everybody came running. Everybody said, Lord, Lord. Everybody was gone, and they're gonna divvy up the reward. And whoa, 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 came to Simon in the flashing light. But the mean individual, he vanished in the black of night. To begin, 'cause they left that neighborhood just like a rattlesnake sheds its skin. Well, they searched the roofs and they checked out the stoops, photographed the scene, looking for the mean individual running in a limousine. Everybody came running. Everybody said, Lord, Lord. Everybody was gunning. All gonna divvy up the reward. Whoa, 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 came the siren and the flashing light, but the mean individual, he vanished in the black of night. Yeah, the mean individual, he vanished in the black of night. Oh, the mean individual, he vanished in the black of night. Moving right right along to 2004, the record Kitchen Radio. This was the big old hit, I suppose, from that record. It's a song called Shirt. It made it onto a Putumayo American folk sampler CD. I had an opening act once at a show. I sound checked and I played this song. And then she said, "Oh my God, you're the guy. You're the guy that wrote the Shirt song." I first heard that song when I was 17 on a sampler CD that I bought at a United Colors of Benetton in a shopping mall. And I knew that I had arrived. I was 33 when I wrote this song. And I've learned that it's a mistake. I mentioned that in the song. And that's a mistake because because time goes on and then you keep singing the song and it's inaccurate. I'm 38 now. So much time to let things go. Now you're burning letters, old letters in the snow in your backyard. How these years go rolling now. You are 33, it is time for the cross, time for the boarded tree. Still you like to cry. Couldn't you just cry when you skin your knee? Ain't it hard? It's the same old friends on New Year's Eve. Same snow falls on the same old leaves. There's the same old joy, same old hurt, same old corduroy shirt. Surveillance and the skateboard girls and oh, your rusty brain cells, they give you a twirl. Oh no, I've got a kitchen radio, I've got coffee on. I could use a little month to lean up on. Still the open road, all it wants to get me gone off I go. It's the same old jar of car keys by the door. It's the same old scuffed up floor. Same old thirst for more until they put me in the dirt. It's the same old nights alone. It's the same old baby when you're coming home to feel the same old joy, feel the same old hurt, same old corduroy shirt, same old corduroy shirt. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and thanks to Signature for having me, because I'm playing a show standing up. I haven't played a show standing up in a year. I mean, it's more formal to stand up. And I just haven't done it. Also haven't played a show wearing anything other than pajama bottoms and slippers for a year. So there's that as well. I think that the Redbird record came out in 2005. Redbird is a very signature project. It's Jeffrey Folkalt, who made quite a few records for Signature, and Chris Delmhorst, who did as well, and myself, and then David Goodrich, who has appeared on probably coming up on a record number of Signature records, produced all the Smither records. This is a tune by Tom Waits. And I decided to reimagine it because I won't be able to hand off a verse to Chris and hand off a verse to Jeff. So we'll see. They hung a sign up in our town. Said if you live it up, you won't live it down. So she left Monte Rio, son, just like a bullet leaves a gun. With the charcoal eyes and the Monroe hips, she went and took that California trip. Oh, the moon was gold and her hair like wind. She said, don't look back, just come on, Jim. Oh, oh, you gotta hold on, hold on. Oh, you gotta hold on, take a man, standing right here, you gotta hold on. He gave her a dime store watch and a ring made from a spoon. Everybody's looking for someone to blame. Well, you share my bed and you share my name. So go on ahead and call the cops. You don't meet nice girls in coffee shops. She said, baby, I still love you, and sometimes there's nothing left to do. Oh, you gotta hold on, hold on. You gotta hold on, take my hand, standing right here, you gotta hold on. God bless your crooked little heart. St. Louis got the best of me. I miss your broken China voice, and I wish you were still here with me, because you build it up, you wreck it down, and then you burn your mansion to the ground. Sometimes there's nothing left to keep you here when you're falling behind and it's a big blue world. Oh, oh no, you got to hold on, hold on, oh, you gotta hold on. Take a mile, I'm standing right here, you gotta hold on. Down by the Riverside Motel, it's 10 below and it's falling fast. By a 99-cent store, she closed her eyes and started swaying. Oh, but it's so hard to dance that way. Dance when it's cold, when there's no music.
when your old town is so far away. When inside your head is just a record plays a song called Hold On, Hold On. Oh, you gotta hold on, take a man standing right. You gotta hold on, hold on. Oh, you gotta hold on, take a man standing right here. Hold on, hold on. Oh, you gotta hold on to take a man standing right here. You gotta hold on.
We got I went on to cover a bunch of Tom Waits tunes with some local musicians here in the Pioneer Valley called the Crumbling Beauties, and we did the Green River Festival once. We did just a bunch of Tom Waits tunes, and one of our specialties was playing all of Rain Dogs. And some burlesque dancers asked if they could choreograph special dances to our versions of the songs from Rain Dogs, and we said sure. And we got a call from Tom Waits's people. We got an email. A cease and desist sort of email, because you're not allowed to mount a theatrical production of a Tom Waits thing without, certain permissions. And it felt like getting pulled over by a state trooper, and then he's Tom Waits. It was sort of terrifying and thrilling. So we just wrote back and said, we didn't know, and we're happy to do whatever is necessary to comply. We're all writers ourselves. We just thought this was covered by your usual performance rights, ASCAP stuff. And his person wrote back and said, wow, you guys are super nice. Most people are not nice when we bust them. Well, all we need is 6% of gross box office. And we were like, seriously, you want us to send Tom Waits a few $100s? We were just going to do that on principle. So this is, I'm going out of order now. This is from a 2007 record called Notes from Elsewhere, which is sort of a retrospective of tunes done solo. And this is a tune called 29 Cent Head.
Billion blue tubes light up a billion rooms. The night outside, it's as quiet as a tomb. The fools on the screen, they try to get each other into bed. It's a $40 haircut on a 29-cent head. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Can you get something else instead? Cause them shapes in the bed are the senator and the CEO. Which one of them shapes is on top? Wouldn't we all like to know? Father's got his hand on the altar boy's knee. The choir is preaching to us now, and the choir wants us to agree, but we just don't get it. Just don't get it. We don't get it, but we know this don't come free. Cause every election feels like a perfect crime. Like you can fool all the people all the time. They say the water is not rising when their shoes are soaking wet. They want to drive us crazy. We ain't crazy yet. We just don't.
place from another all across this land. Bring me the architect and let me shake the architect's hands. Yeah, the shop's full of nothing, yeah, and the streets are full of fear. So tell me now that we're all connected, why can't we get near? Yeah, you just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But you can't get there from here. You got 1,000 talking heads. They wanna tell you where it's at. When you look behind the curtain, look at where the puppet master sat. There's an empty chair. Puppet master's lying flat. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm vaguely proud of that. I just don't get it, and I'm vaguely proud of that. I hope I never get it. All right, one more tune carrying me to the halfway point of my tenure with Signature Sounds. 2006, there was a record called The Knuckleball Suite. Kitchen Radio and The Knuckleball Suite were two records that I largely wrote with David Goodrich. And they had the same band, Goody on electric guitars, Mike Peel on drums, and Lou Ulrich on the electric bass. And Lou passed away just earlier this year, and I've been listening to the records just to hear him play. He was a really, truly wonderful Boston musician. He was a student of James Jamerson's style, who was the Motown legend. The guy that plays on What's Going On. And Lou really had that bouncy thing, and playing far too many notes, except with him it just wasn't too many. It is a warm summer evening, I can just hear the knuckleball suite. It's a warm summer evening, I can just hear the knuckleball suite. I can hear the clover hum along, I can hear the rain clouds are finding their feet. This town is a talisman, it's a vanishing breed. Town is a talisman, and we are a vanishing breed. A song is a first chair viola lost in the weeds. Drinking Sandy Man Porter at the old cafe. Billy C is drinking Sandy Man Porter at the old cafe. The little river goes by slow, the little river, it likes it that way. Sally's barefoot in the backyard, calling out to the star above the pine. To that star above the pine. Once the star answers, sell you the wine, you the wine, you the wine, you the wine.
this sport. Franklin is the ace and Norton man, so why this sport? Going down to the old cafe to sit with Bill and drink the Sandy Man port. It's a warm summer evening, oh, I hear the sweet. It's a warm summer evening, do you hear the sweet? I can hear the clover hum along, I can hear the little rain clouds finding their feet. The clover hums along, tell me, aren't these summer evenings where you and I used to meet? Summer evenings, oh, every once and again shall all meet.
Yeah, warm summer evenings.
Right? Oh, God.
Tim Wakefield, where are you? What happened to Tim? I always felt like that song was a little bit of a tribute to Tim Wakefield.
It exactly was. Yeah, I love. He was the first knuckleballer that I kind of came to understand, and that they're magic. The knuckleball is magic because people are like, oh well, it's really humid, so the knuckleball is going to be dancing, or it's really dry, so the knuckleball is going to be dancing. Like, guys, it's just random.
You get the feeling that he could still probably go out there today at age 50, whatever, and do the thing, you know?
Yeah, full on. Plus, Tim Wakefield kept doing me over and over the favor of being like one of 3 or 4 major leaguers who was just older than me.
Yeah.
Right? It was beautiful. They do that
For a while there.
Exactly. Well, he's still older than me, but yeah, no one in the major leagues. I can point to the exact moment. It was when Omar Vizquel retired. He like injured himself and retired, and I was like, everyone in baseball is younger than me now.
Your careers have been dashed. Your dreams of a career in baseball. Peter, let's talk a little bit about how you got into this whole thing.
Wow.
Because I don't know if I've ever actually heard that story.
Well, I mean, I wanted to do this since I was a little kid. You know, like I wanted to travel and do some kind of art, and that was just how it was gonna be. And before I could get into bars, I would try to like get a gig, you know, and then
You grew up, back up just a little bit, because
Sure.
you grew up in Milwaukee.
Grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Right.
And went to school for theater.
Right.
But honestly, by sophomore year of college, I was playing bar gigs every weekend. So I've been doing this since I was 18, 19 years old, you know. And then I had just had a friend that was moving out to Boston, and I thought, well, that looks close to a bunch of cities, you know, like I could get to this Philadelphia place and this New York City place and this, it looks like, you know, and then I'd heard about the Iron Horse. So I was like, oh, I got to play in this Northampton place, you know, and then I just started playing in the subway to make rent. And that's really, I mean, I'd played a lot of music, but once you're doing like 6-8 hours a day, like that's when you get
It's actually a
filmed.
great career development plan for any songwriter.
Yeah.
You get the instant feedback, you get the pressureless, situation
Right?
where you're just playing. People can ignore you or they can tune into it, and
Yeah, and it's sort of like Groundhog Day, but it's like Groundhog every 10 minutes. You know, like the train goes away, and now it's a brand new show for a bunch of strangers. You know?
right. Well, you kind of landed in Boston in an interesting time, because I feel like so much of what became of Signature started in the Boston scene.
Yeah.
And people talk about, the 60s Boston folk boom being a thing, but really, in kind of that early to mid 90s, so much great music came out of Boston. There was such a great scene.
And you know, everybody there it's still pretty beautiful. Like everyone there is very interconnected, and it's become multi-generational. That's the thing that I'm, like Elisa Amador is real strong in the scene, and everyone who's, you know, old enough to be her parents knows who she is and views her as a colleague, you know. And, you know, Dietrich Strauss is, I think he's 17. And,
And has been for so long now.
exactly. But yeah, that was just a stroke of luck, you know. And since then, I've been in a lot of places, and they just don't have a scene as strong. Like New York City, there's something about it that's not as communal, or doesn't look as communal and neighborhoody as the Boston scene was in the '90s, you know.
Right. Well, one of the things that you've given us all these wonderful albums for Signature Sounds, but you were also, I've always said that our artists are some of our best talent scouts. And you led us to Jeffrey Folcall. You were the first person I ever heard talking about Jeffrey Folcall.
That's true. And I think, weirdly, wasn't Elin Jewell, like, she wandered into a songwriting workshop that I was doing?
She was the other one. You were the first one to say, hey, pay attention to this Elin Jewell woman.
I just like musicians. It's a really good tribe of human beings, you know? Especially in the singer-songwriter world, I've never fought with anyone about money, you know, and every club and every record label, you know, is a business relationship. So out of hundreds of business relationships, I've never once fought with anyone or had anyone want to fight with me about money or anything. It's really communal.
No one wants to fight with you, Peter. That's just not a thing. Well, also, I feel like you're kind of possibly responsible for a marriage of two great musicians, of Chris and Jeff. You were kind of the matchmaker there, weren't you?
I was. I roped them into a British tour, and they'd not really met, and so we all piled into the back seat of this car, and I was in the front seat, and the tour manager was in the front seat, and all the CDs and guitars were piled in one back seat, and so Chris, you know, had to sit on this stranger, Jeffrey Folcall's lap, and I still remember the British tour manager was like, "Are you sure you're all right back there?" And Jeff said, "I'd be fine if this damn horse woman would keep her damn hands to herself."
That's awesome.
And that was it. He's a charming fellow.
There you go. Well, you've been a pioneer in a lot of other ways in this business. You're the first guy I know of who got on your bike with your guitar and did a bike tour.
I did do that.
How many of them have you done now?
I think 12 or 13 or 14 of them. I started it in 2007, and then in 2009 I did the big one that came all the way out here, and you biked out to join us.
Yeah, I biked like the last half a mile.
No, you met us in Amherst. That's 9 miles from this very spot. And then I did, you know, a bunch more, but I did just in the autumn before the shutdown, I repeated that Wisconsin to New England run.
That's incredible to me.
Oh, it was great. You know, and the thing that was amazing to me, a good 10% of the route between Wisconsin and Massachusetts, a good 10% more of it had been paved as dedicated bicycle path. Like,
nice.
Infrastructure is coming along.
They would just build some more clubs along the trail there. It would make your life a lot easier.
Right. Things get a little bit thin in Western New York and you know, Ontario.
That's awesome. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about your latest project. I didn't want to go without mentioning you have a great live album.
Oh, that's right.
With a group called the Sister Strings.
Yeah, so they're some Milwaukee buddies of mine, and they're very young. They're just around 30, and I've been playing with them past 3-4 years. It's Monique and Shanti Ross. They play cello and violin, and they're sort of they're very classically educated, and they have all that sort of virtuoso skill and depth of repertoire and interpretation, but they also swing and they love pop music, and they're great improvisers. And that's what's so rare is most sort of great colloquial musicians are not that technically grand, and most technically proficient musicians are not that relaxed. And so we just kind of put a band together and we put out a record, Peter Mulvey and Sister Strings live at the Cafe Carp. And then we have another one coming out next year called Shenandoah, or maybe this year, I don't know.
Nice.
I mean, what do we do now, right?
I love it because you kind of reimagine some of your songs
Yeah.
in a very cool way,
Yeah,
which is great.
I mean, they're fantastic, and again, it's that thing. Like if you're willing to be the old guy, you really can stay young. You know, like I'm learning so much from those ladies, and the drummer is also my age, so you know. And we hold down the sort of plaid end of things, and then they have these, beautiful weaves, and they wear like sunglasses that have like, like whole organizational, things going on. And also, I remember doing a show with them, and they were some of their friends, and they were talking about where they were going to be, and I said, just in case anyone's interested, I'm going to be asleep in a hotel room in 17 minutes, and all of them were like, "Okay, Grandpa."
Peter Mulvey is with us tonight in the Parlor Room. It's part of the Signature Sounds 25th anniversary. Peter's been a big part of it. 10 releases, he's kind of halfway through them. He's whipped out the electric guitar, and now we're going to rock.
Here's one that I wrote with the great Tim Gearin. It's called Kids in the Square. If you got a pretty good idea what you are looking for, then you got a pretty good idea what you will find. You don't have to go so very far these days to find yourself a made-up mind. Oh, the man-made man, he's driving big shiny wheels way too fast down any stretch of road. You know the story, you know how this one turns out. His wheels up in the dark and cold. Wheels up in the dark and cold. But those kids down in the square are dancing like they just don't care. They know it all washes away in the morning rain. In the morning rain. So we can ride for a while on this big blue wave, this wave of plastic and petroleum and sodium light. But chickens run in circles, the circles are getting smaller, and the fox is on the town tonight. The fox is on the town tonight, but still those kids down in the square dancing like they just don't care. What if they know it all washes away in the morning rain? The morning rain. Oh, 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 oh. Billy Butler, things sure do fall apart. If you could only see that rough beast slouching now, because our middle has no center, our upper's got no down, because we ain't got no brains, no how. Cause the rifle has got no safety, because the barn has got no door, because the old man has got no coat for when it snows, because that has got no this, and this has got no that, and the emperor has got no clothes. Look at us, no clothes. Those kids down in the square, always dancing and never do care. What if they know it all washes away in the morning rain? Those kids out in the street, they have raised up their hands, look, they're moving their feet. I think they know it all washes away in the morning rain. In the morning rain. is the first record I remember working with Paul Kohansky, who is omnipresent out here in the Pioneer Valley. A wonderful, splendid fella, great upright bass player, and he owns a painting company. A lot of his crew are musicians like him, and they have a rule, which is that whoever has the coolest gig over the weekend has to, on Monday, paint behind the toilet. And there's a yoga pose that you have to assume called the humbler. And they refer to the assignment as the humbler. He's been to the Grammys, I think, twice. Once with Alistair Mook. And then I think once with Laurie McKenna. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's had, awards occasions, and so he always gets the humbler. Here's a tune from the second Redbird record. Redbird live at the Cafe Carp. And this is an honest-to-God folk tune. I don't do a lot of those. I don't do a lot of folk tunes. I'm known as a folk musician, but my rule on folk tunes is they have to just sort of fully grab you. And if they fully grab you, then you're allowed to do them, but not before. And this one just sort of reared up out of the centuries. This is called Come All Ye Fair and Tender Ladies. And I stole this from Greg Brown off of a bootleg. And the melody, he kind of uses a different melody from an old tune called Silver Dagger.
Come all ye fair and tender ladies, be careful how you court young men. They're like a star on a summer's morning. They'll first appear and then they're gone. They'll tell to you some far-flung story. They'll tell to you some loving lie, and then they'll go and court another for that other pass you by. If I had known before I courted that love it was such a kill and a crime, I'd have locked my heart in a box of golden and tied it up, tied it with a silver twine. I wish I was some little sparrow, that I had wings, oh, to fly so high. I'd fly away to my false true lover. When he's talking, I'd be by. so wide. I'll fly away to some silent valley to weep and pass my troubles by. Come all ye fair and tender ladies, be careful how you court young men. They're like a star on a summer's morning. They're first appear and then they're gone. All right, here's one from The Good Stuff, which is sort of a sleeper record of mine. It's the American Songbook. If I was allowed to liberally run away with what the hell that means. For instance, this is a Leonard Cohen tune, and he is, of course, Canadian, but Canada is in the Americas. Leonard Cohen, I don't know if you guys remember this, but he died about November 9th or 10th, 2016. I remember that. He's always been a playful character, so I was utterly unsurprised that the moment the two-bit autocrat was elected, he was like, see ya, have fun with that guy. Everybody knows that the war is over. Everybody knows that the good guys lost. Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows that the game is fixed. The poor stay poor and the rich get rich, and that's how it goes. Everybody knows that the boat is sinking. Everybody knows that the captain lied. Everybody got themselves a sinking feeling, just like their dog or their daddy died. Everybody's talking into their pockets. Everybody wants a box of chocolates and a long stem rose. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows, and that's how it goes. Everybody knows that you really love me. Everybody knows that you really do. Everybody knows that you were faithful, give or take a night or two. Everybody knows that you kept it discreet. There were just so many people that you had to meet without your clothes. Everybody knows it's now or never. Everybody knows that it's he or you. Everybody knows that you get to live forever just as soon you're done a line or two. Everybody knows that the whole thing is rotten. Old Black and Joe is still picking cotton for our ribbons and our bows. Everybody. everybody knows. Everybody knows that's how it goes. Everybody knows the plague is coming. Everybody knows the plague moves fast. Everybody knows that the naked man and woman are a shining artifact of the past. Everybody knows that the scene's gone dead. They will install a meter on your bed and it will disclose. Well, everybody knows which is you're in trouble. Everybody knows what you've been through. From the cross on Calvary to the beach at Malibu, everybody knows it's coming apart. Take one last look at the Sacred Heart before it blows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And so we come to the 2014 record, Silver Ladder. It was produced by Chuck Prophet. This tune is called What Else Was It? And then I'm going to do a couple more tunes that are from, that have not yet been released on any record label. You took a shovel to the basement, and you blistered up your hands, and you danced all night at the wedding. You stayed up drinking with the band, and you made love until the daylight was creeping across the floor. Oh, tell me, what else was it you were looking for? You felt the first chill of November, steel inside your coat, right there with the fragile pulse of living fluttered in your throat. You left the house you thought you lived in, never even shut the door. Oh, tell me, what else was it you were looking for? Your little life, it came undone, the way that little lives do. And so you spilled over to your friends, and bless them, your friends came through. And then one day you set it down, 'cause you did not need it anymore. Oh, tell me, what else was it you were looking for? clear light? Would you meet me where the leaves are coming down? And if I learn to say your name, would you learn to stick around? We could walk, we could just say nothing, just say nothing more. Then what else was it you were looking for? So that's my signature tenure, 14 years and 10 records, and I enjoyed every one of them. Thank you guys for putting out all those records. If you out in the world know about my music, it's the work that they've done here that has probably put me in your path. I just got a couple more songs here. I wrote this song after the AME church shootings in Charleston, South Carolina. And I want to send this out to the United States of America. Every flag over Charleston is at half-staff today, except one, except one. Every flag over Charleston is at half-staff today, except one. You know which one. Take down your flag to half-staff. Take down your flag to half-staff. Take down your flag to half-staff. Because she is survived by her children and by her grandchildren. Her name is Susie Jackson. She was 87 years old. She is survived by her children and by her grandchildren. Her name is Susie Jackson, and she was 87 years old. Oh, take down your flag to half-staff. Take down your flag to half-staff. Take down your flag to half-staff. This is gonna take all of the love in all of our hearts, but it is also gonna take something more. It's gonna take all of the love in every single one of our hearts, but it is also gonna take something more, something more. Take down your flag to half-staff. Take down your flag to half-staff. Take down your flag to half-staff. And then take it down for good. Well, I want to end on this note. I want to thank you again, Signature, and everyone out there in the real world. And thanks for helping the venues. If you are donating to the link that's been on the screen, that goes to me and it goes to the parlor room here. And I'm doing okay. Venues have a harder time because, of course, as charming as they are, they can't talk to you and ask you to take care of them. So look out for your venues, look out for each other, look out for the local food banks.
Here's a very new song. This is called On the Eve of the Inaugural. Also called the Hominid song. I've been, like I said, I've been doing a song every week with this group that is on my Patreon. And the prompt, I've been supplying a prompt, and the prompt was Circle K. That was it. That was it. On the, I don't even remember the first line of this song. Oh yeah, right. Little one in a car seat in the back of a Honda that your mother is fueling at the pump next to mine. And the screens on each pump chatter at the grown-ups, American consumers in an orderly line. On the eve of the inaugural, snow is falling, and the mind, as they say, is amazed at its fall. At my left hand is freezing, and your face is so perfect, and I see in your eyes history's call. And a smile in the way that we hominids do when we see a little baby hominid like you, and you smile back with a look of joy or indigestion, and I shiver straight down to my bones. Little one, may I remind you that you and I live in the 80th decade of a steady decline in violence, which had been the curse of our species, and so things probably should, and yet they don't feel just fine. 'Cause on the eve of the inaugural, there's a look of pure nervousness on every face that I see. I mean, I know things rise and things fall, but like everyone else, I never thought that that applied to you and me. And I smile in the way that we hominids do when we see a little baby hominid like you, and you smile back with a look of joy or indigestion, and I shiver right down to my bones. Little one, I bequeath you this hurtling rock with its rainforest lung and its molten iron heart, its tattered oceans and tired flora and fauna, among whom we hominids have made a tentative start. Thank you very much. Thanks to Signature. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. And thanks to the crew here. And stay safe. Take care of each other.